Nerdcore could rise up. It could get elevated. Nerdcore could rise up. It could get elevated. Nerdcore.
We don't talk about prom. Nom. We don't talk about prom. But it was spooky Saturday.
It was our spooky Saturday.
We were getting ready and there wasn't a lag in the internet.
No lag in our internet.
We can't sing. Prom walks in with a mischievous grin.
Liar.
You're telling the story, or am I?
Go on.
It's still your part, Kyle.
I said, I'm sorry, Chris, go on.
Prom says it looks like a body.
Why did she tell us?
In doing so, she lies to my brain.
Don't forget the medkits.
Gaming anyway.
It's pay, but anyway.
We don't talk about prom. No. We don't talk about prom. Apparently, neither can Kyle.
I can't. I tried, and I fell off like line 2.
That would have been a good one. It's still a good one. I'm
It's
a
still
genius.
a good
Welcome to Every Man's Guide to Nerddom, where we're 230 to 40-something-year-olds who talk about pretty much whatever we want. I'm Chris.
And I'm Kyle. And if you guys want to hang out with us live and in person or interact with the community, down in the show notes below us, there is a link to the Discord. Join that below. Discord's free. Doesn't cost a dime. Join it. There's all kinds of categories for all things nerdy that if you want to talk about them. There's a mute button apparently. There is
when did they add that in? What else aren't they telling us?
I'm being left out of so many things.
I think it's the government. Go on.
But we got channels for gaming, anime, movies, comics, general discussion, video games broken
sports
down. We got wrestling, beard, Funkos, and all kinds of fun stuff. So you guys join the Discord, find something that you want to talk about. If there's something there that you want to discuss, or there's something that you want to discuss that isn't there, let us know. We'll make a channel. People will talk about it. And then if for some god awful reason you want to hang out with us, like and interact at the same time in person and live, we both stream on Twitch. Chris over there is at Guyver Unit 01. It's GUYVERUNT 01. And mine's easier. It's KSIG, K_SIG. Both on Twitch. We both stream Friday and Saturday night together. Doing indie games, horror games, community games. Been doing a lot of community games lately on Saturday nights. Big groups.
That's 3 weeks.
With Miss Prom down there below us. We'll introduce her in just a second. I'm excited about that. And also just kind of random variety streams through the week. I've been doing a lot of GTA RP. Chris has been doing a lot of dad stuff. So
a shit ton of dad stuff.
Grow
up, children.
Yeah.
Let me play video games. But yeah. So what are we talking about today?
Well, this is a topic that we have discussing. We've discussed the discussion several times.
Double discussion.
Something that we've wanted to do for quite a while because it's a topic that, and you guys may not think this on the surface, but it's near and dear to both of our hearts, and that's women, girls, females in gaming. It's close to us because we both have daughters that are nerds that like to play games, and it's we grew up not as girls, so that we know of. And it's something that's I know it's super important to Chris. It's really important to me because you know my daughter's getting older, at the age where she can play games online, and she's making friends through her games now, and that I'm having to monitor really closely and all that fun stuff. Just because she's still a kid, and it's a different world than when we started playing. We didn't have online.
There was an internet game. There wasn't online games when we started.
No, and there wasn't a lot of girls that played games with us back then that we knew of.
And those
or maybe just girls just didn't play with us in general. That may have been what it was.
Well, I mean, there was that. That could have been it too. I wouldn't have played with me.
And so this is a topic that we've really wanted to hit on, and we have brought along a very special guest for today's show, Miss Prom, who also streams on Twitch. It's Prommien. Did I spell that right?
Yes.
I did. Cool.
Woo! Yay!
Yay, Prom!
Full-time variety streamer. Great streamer. Very interactive with the community. Fun to watch. Super mod extraordinaire. She will bring the swords and the brand hammer down quicker than anybody I've ever seen.
Or the nutcrackers.
Or those. Man, if
Or
we
the
could change
nutcrackers.
I might change the icons around. So yeah, that's our guest today, and I'm
That's a
super
good idea.
excited to have her here. I know Chris is.
I am too. Yeah.
I'm very excited to be here.
We love Prom. We do.
Yeah.
First, thank you, Prom. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking time out to talk to us. And you all have heard of us talk about Prom multiple times on this show, and she also listens to our show. So that's a bonus. So she actually knows what she was getting into before she actually got here.
And she's still here. Like she knows
still
what
here.
happens. And she showed up. So that's a plus.
And she still plays with us on Saturday nights.
Well, I'm excited that I got an invite.
Well,
It means a lot.
well, no, it does because okay, let's talk about this real quick. Let's get the skeleton in the closet, the elephant in the room. Prom is the most spectacular liar in any game I have ever encountered.
Big facts.
Oh,
Very
because
true.
she literally will stab you in the face in a game and then be like, oh no, I found a body. Someone hit you. And like she says it in this cute, innocent voice. And then I'm like,
Oh, no, I found your body.
yeah, but I go, wait, no, no, maybe it was someone else.
It was Baby Bird.
It was baby. See,
I went up behind Baby Bird. I murdered her. I went out of the room, transferred back into human, and I like waited a second, and then walked back into the room. Went, oh no, I found your body.
See, it's shit like this that I literally fall for it. You think that I wouldn't, but in 86 episodes, I also haven't figured out Kyle gets me on Mephisto jokes. So there's that. But
We've been playing a lot of, I mean, for you guys that may not know, we've been playing a lot of deception-based games. So games like
Among Us, stuff.
similar to the structure of Among Us. Some of them are older than Among Us. We've been playing Deceit, playing Unfortunate Spaceman. We actually haven't played Among Us as a group yet. And yeah,
I
we
don't
are
like playing Among Us.
we are extremely gullible, apparently. So
Yeah, give us that worm, we will bite. Which is also on our dating profiles when we were younger. But yeah, so Prom. But seriously, thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. We enjoy hanging out with you. Love talking to you. And she is actually going to be Prom is the first in our series that we're going to do. It's not going to be women in gaming like every single week, but we want to do a series on this throughout the year because, like Kyle said, it's just the gaming community is so toxic. We want to show our daughters you can game. It's okay. It's cool. You can kick ass at it. And it's okay. It's acceptable. So
And
that's
show-
the whole purpose of this.
And show the sides that aren't toxic. There is a lot of toxicity out there, but there's like glimmers of hope in places. And there's places where, you know, anybody can play and anybody can get together and have a good time and you know, communities that self-moderate and take care of themselves and take care of each other. And that's when you find those good places that's where you want to be at. And that's where like all the goodness seems to come out in gaming and community gaming and meeting people and being online together.
Well, and especially in communities like that, like the toxic people weed themselves out really fast because they realize that one, they can't get away with shit. And two, it's like nobody's gonna bite on their stupid little jokes, which takes away the fun for them.
Yeah.
And I always find it entertaining to like just like shut down the jokes.
Yeah. Don't feed the troll. Like
No. There are times though that I do feed the troll, mostly because I'm like, oh, I know where this is going. Come on. Let's do this.
this is my
I'll
first
play
rodeo,
your
buddy.
game. I play it better than you do.
And this is why Prom is also like literally the mod in everyone's community. She'll bait that troll, she'll feed it, fatten it up, and then she'll stick a stick in its ass.
Stab
And then
the
she'll ban it.
trolls.
And
Stab the
that's
troll, and then
order.
she'll
Yeah.
nom their faces.
Nom nom nom.
See?
Your
so
anger feeds me.
And this is why we love Prom. So Prom, tell us about yourself. Just we've talked about you on here before, but introduce yourself. Tell us, all about yourself. What you want people to know.
I mean, well, like, most people don't believe me when I tell them that I'm over 30. So that's a fun time.
Believe us when we tell them we are.
Yeah, but nobody believes me. They're like, no, you can't be. They're early 20s. And I'm like, it's very kind, but no. I will be 32 this year, actually.
Really?
Mhm.
I wouldn't have picked that, but I
Most
believe it.
people don't.
Well, okay,
I've-
you guys heard me say that I don't believe Prom a lot now, but I do on this one.
And like, as far as like how long I've been gaming pretty much my entire life. Like my whole family, with the exception of my mother, we're all computer gamers. Like my dad got us hooked into like Diablo, and me and my siblings used to take over the entire kitchen table and just have like the giant box monitors and playing like Diablo 2 LAN parties. It was a good time. Very good time.
You started off on PC then, not like or you had early introduction to PC gaming.
Yeah, we had a really, really early introduction to PC gaming. Like we had an NES when I was growing up and an N64, but that was like the last console that I ever owned. So, playing a lot of like Mario Party 3. And then when we had the N64, we played a lot of Gauntlet Legends and Conker's Bad Fur Day, which is a great game, highly underrated.
Oh, it's such a phenomenal
It's
game.
so good.
It's
And
so
like,
nasty.
my older brother used to kick our ass at like any game that we were like going against him, but we made games within the game to make it more entertaining for everybody, because if we were just straight going deathmatch, he would just murder us because he was much better at that than we were. But we would, oh my god, there's one level in Conker's Bad Fur Day where there's a bathroom, and when you go into the bathroom, the only weapon that you have is your piss. So you just pee on people. So me and my younger sister, we'd go into the bathroom. My older brother would go grab a rocket launcher, and we'd sit behind one of the pillars and just jump up and down. And his goal was to shoot us while we were midair with a rocket launcher. And yeah, that became the game in that particular map. It was a lot of fun.
Custom rule sets before they existed.
Pretty much. It was like,
awesome.
well, we need to make this a little bit like not even more fair, because really it was never going to be fair, but it was just like, let's just make this more entertaining, because otherwise, and like playing Quake together. It's like I would stare at the floor, and I had this song that I used to sing called "Put Your Butts Up in the Air," and I would sing that, be like, "Put your butts up in the air, put your butts up in the air," and I would just run around looking at the ground, and he'd have to try and find me.
That's awesome.
Because like there was no shot if I was just going straight against him, like at all.
He's just really good.
Yeah,
Modified hide and
because like
seek.
the shooter type games were more of his, like shooters, and the real-time strategies were his types of games. I lean more towards like story games or like The Sims, because like, although my older brother did play The Sims with us, we had one computer when I was at my dad's place, and so we would just take turns playing on it. And then at one point we're like, we could all play The Sims together. So be my brother, my younger sister, and me, and we all had our own families, and we'd sit there and we watch each other play. And at one point my older brother stole my younger sister's sim, like his sim married her sim, and then sent her child to military school.
Okay, that's
like,
awesome.
I was like, dang, savage, what the hell? She was very upset. I thought it was funny.
That's
People
the
that don't
start
play
of the
and
Great
don't have
Divide.
people that don't play and don't have siblings don't realize like how great those, like it just sounds like to an outsider, like I was something from the game. We get it, and like how devious and amazing that is at the same time. Like there's just deceived her. I'm sensing a trend here in the family, possibly that
Maybe a little bit.
a little bit.
My sister-in-law also streams, and she plays a lot of the deceit games as well. Like she's been playing a lot of Goose Goose Duck.
Oh, I've been
is-
wanting to play that.
Oh my
Yes.
god, it's so funny to watch. And
We might have to add that in the rotation. How many players is it though?
same as Among Us, I believe,
Okay, so like
because it's basically Among Us with geese
12?
and ducks.
6, I thought.
6.
No,
there.
they made Among Us up to 12 now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
They changed it.
We might have to add the goose game in.
Geese, freaking devil birds. That might be in.
Geese are evil.
Geese are
As
evil.
a Canadian,
Do you
Geese
just
are
call them?
evil.
Do you just call them geese, or do you call them? Are they still Canadian geese? They're like those are just geese.
They're just geese,
That's what I
or
thought.
as we like to call them, the cobra chickens.
Cobra,
the cobra
chickens.
when they hiss at you.
They're the freaking
God,
devil,
those-
man.
They're so mean, and
In
like
bird
people are
form.
like, "Oh my god, I want to go take a picture." I'm like, "Be careful how close you get."
Uh-huh.
And they're like,
Especially
"What do you
up
mean?"
by
And
the
I'm like,
nest.
"They will eat you."
Mhm.
And like a big enough goose actually has the strength to break somebody's arm in their wings.
I didn't know that, but that is fucking frightening.
Geese and swans have
I'm
enough
just-
power in their wings to break somebody's arm.
Yeah, no, thank you. Like,
You just gotta let people learn on their own, though. Just like let Darwin take his course. Like, well, if the
Well,
goose
it's
takes
like-
you out, the goose takes you out.
It's like when I go up in the mountains and like I see like the not to put too fine a point on it, but the Asian tourists
Mhm.
who are up in the mountains, they want to take pictures of the wildlife, and that's all good and fine. But they get out of their vehicle and they're approaching something like a moose to get a closer picture. And I've actually pulled over to the side of the road, but please, dear God, get back in your car.
That's your duty as a Canadian to protect people from moose.
Themselves.
Geese?
From
Mooses?
themselves. Moose.
Moose. Multiple moose.
Multiple moose. Flock of moose.
A
But
Please.
like
whole ass flock of moose.
I'm just
a
like,
flock of moose. What a great band
because
name.
moose are stupid enough, like because my uncle used to work for Canada Pacific Rail, and they at one point during the season they were finding moose carcasses turned inside out on the side of the railroad. So they set up a bunch of cameras around the area where they were finding these carcasses, and they realized that during rutting season the male moose were charging at trains because they were rivals. Like moose are not smart. They're just aggressive and mean. And like
Big
they would just
bullies.
charge at the train and like turn themselves inside out. And it's like, there you go, inside out moose.
A moose kebab.
I'm
Almost,
not even
yeah.
sure it was a kebab at that point. It was
Like a
just
moose pate.
moose mangle.
Moose tartar.
Moose mangle. Although
Oh,
moose meat
moose
is very
mangle.
tasty.
See, I don't think I've actually ever seen a moose. Like, I mean, I have
They're
on
big.
TV.
My uncle used to hunt moose, so we'd have like moose and venison, and like moose steaks are like this big.
Mhm.
Like you could feed a family of 4 with a single moose steak.
Really? Are they
Yeah.
gamey?
Very, very, very gamey. They're very dark meat, and like I highly recommend like the low slow with like rosemary and like a bunch of like really strong herbal flavors.
To kill it. Kill the flavor.
So good.
Okay. I'm gonna have to try that sometime. Kyle, go hunt a moose for me.
we had venison in this household today for lunch.
Did you really?
Mhm.
Venison. I haven't had
Venison and
venison in
rice.
so long
I
because
had leftover Hawaiian.
my
The-
dad
the
kind of
type
fell out
or
of
the
contact with
person?
his family.
We don't talk about Chris's eating habits. No.
Oh, okay.
If
You
it's a
have-
person or not. It was the leftover Hawaiian that we got yesterday, from the 3-hour drive back.
Oh God. I can only imagine that. Like that just sounds insane.
It was
But then again,
terrible.
like shit like that doesn't really happen very often in Canada. Like it doesn't, it's not like it doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen as often.
You just have
Because
to
you
We
share
guys-
had
it.
the
You're
big
normal.
mass shooting. Like we had the big mass shooting out in Nova Scotia 2018, I think. And that was like the biggest shooting that had ever happened in years in Canada to be big enough to like go across the country on the news.
And see, Kyle, that's how sad that is. She can tell you the year it was when it happened last, 2018. Here, it's like, oh yeah, no, there was a school shooting again. Oh, look, there's another school shooting. Oh, look, the Florida governor is going after the mouse because he said that they don't, they're not adhering to what he wants them to do. Because we're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
even
I
the
mean,
good
you
crazy.
let it off with Florida, so
Yeah, that's true.
that's a
too.
lot there. I
Well,
mean,
not even the
they-
hot crazy.
Mm-mm.
It's not even the hot mess. It's just like it's
Yeah,
the
but
crazy
there's some
cat
kind of crazy you
lady.
just don't stick your dick in. Just
It's
saying.
exactly.
Says you.
I mean,
so
yeah. I mean, Kyle still would, but
yeah.
Cough, cough, body's neighbor.
we want stories later. Okay, and
Your first gaming memory.
My first gaming memory. The one that really sticks with me is waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning because I'm a morning person. So I'm up with the sun it doesn't really matter. Like when I've gone to bed, it's like as soon as the sun's up, I'm awake, and it sucks. But me and my older brother were like the horrible morning people. So we'd like get up, go down to the TV and like turn it on, turn it all the way the fuck down, and then just sit there playing Mario Party until, or not Mario Party, like Super Mario 3 until everybody else woke up.
Yeah.
That's like the first real gaming memory I have, and it's the one that usually sticks the most.
That's a great memory, though. That's
It
the
is.
kind of stuff that always sticks with you.
Oh yeah.
So we're going to ask, like, how did you get into it? And obviously, the answer, I mean, siblings and family. Like, that's where you had the older sibling that played. Like, I was the older sibling.
I have 4 siblings. I have 2 older siblings and 2 younger siblings.
So you're middle prom.
I am the awful middle child.
Like, exactly in the middle.
Yeah.
Like literally in the middle.
And in regards to like genders of my siblings, I've got an older sister, older brother, younger sister, younger brother. So anytime that somebody's like, "Oh my God, my younger brother," I'm like, "I get you, I feel you."
And then my younger sister.
Got that too.
Yeah. What else you want? I got it.
It's like I am the ultimate medium child.
That's so awesome, though.
You obviously still play quite a bit, obviously,
Mhm.
or if we wouldn't have found you. What is it that, like, we can kind of pick up that when you were younger, it was a family activity and it was a thing to do together. It wasn't just a game. Like that was a group activity that you
Mhm.
got to spend time with your family. You guys got to bond and grow and fight and all that stuff that siblings do when they play video games together. But now, as a whole ass adult, what is it that draws you in? What makes you want to go in and like fire up your computer and sit at your desk and like this is my motivation, my draw to want to play today?
Escapism more than anything, at least currently. It's like, especially because like I do have another job outside of Twitch, but that job stresses me out way more than being a streamer does.
Mhm.
Which, I mean, like streaming comes with its own stress, of course, but
Mhm.
like I'm a financial broker, like a licensed financial broker outside of Twitch, and it's really, really stressful, like keeping on top of client numbers and just numbers everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just it's a way for me to just like turn my brain off for a little bit and focus on something. I'm like, okay, like especially like for example Lost Ark, which I've been literally no lifing for the last like month and a half because it came out on February 11th and I already have almost 400 hours into it. Yeah.
This isn't even 2 months yet.
I know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been they have like a whole bunch of collectible things, and
Right.
I'm a big person that's like, ooh, shiny things.
Yep,
Like give
yep.
me all the shiny things. And they have like really, really like well set like goals in the collectibles. And there's like a whole bunch of different collectibles. Like there's the Makoko seeds and masterpieces, like the island souls, which have like different ways of going and getting those. And it's like you get different things for finishing all the different collectibles. And I'm like, I must have all of the shiny things. Give me all the shiny
sensing
things.
A little bit of digital hoarder in that, just a little bit.
Across all games. Like
Is something really interesting. I came across that the other day with I was reading some forum about something and people were talking about, it may have been like hard drive space and like what all they kept and why they had personal servers and all this, and people talking about all the terabytes of crap that they had, and they're like, it's like they're like I have a hoarder mentality, and this keeps it in one place, so I can I can go and look at all my stuff, but it's not like out and everywhere, and it keeps their other half.
well, like
Happy.
you guys can't really see, but like these two like shelvy things here,
Mhm.
that's full of art supplies.
Also
Like when
crafty.
Crafty prom.
I got into university with my art, so
Cool.
yeah. It's one thing that I need to get back into because it used to be my big de-stressor, but because I've been so stressed out, like I sit down to do any art and I'm just like, I'm blanking. I'm just gonna go play video games because at least I don't have to use my brain for that.
So I know this is apples and oranges.
Mhm.
What calms you down the most, like when you're stressed? Your art or your video games?
Usually my art, but like I said, recently I haven't done any art, and especially not because I do emotes and stuff for people. And I'm currently working on doing emotes for my sister-in-law who also streams. And I was in the progress of working on that. I had a whole bunch of art giveaways from a charity stream that I did. And then my computer deleted my entire work in progress folder.
Oh no.
So I lost 55-ish hours of work.
Ooh.
And it just killed any motivation that I had to do anything. Because I'm like,
I'm done.
that hurts my soul. Like anything that I already had done because I had it saved elsewhere was fine. But like I went like on a file search on my computer just to see if it like just was there somewhere. My computer doesn't even recognize that it used to be a folder. It just deleted it. It was like, yeah, bye.
Ooh.
Just completely deleted it.
Just completely gone. And I'm like, why?
I totally feel you on that, killing the drive. I made the joke last night. We made the we were talking about the game developer. I can't remember if you were in there or not, or somebody was a game developer. I'm like, when I said, oh yeah, I used to play around on RPG Maker, so technically I'm a game developer too. But I had spent close to 80 hours, I believe it was close to 80, building. I was making a custom, top down, old school style RPG game that was very personalized for my daughter at the time. This was like in 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
Got about 80 hours in. I had storylines. I had quest lines and dialogue trees and like everything built out. And, I had her in there and I had her brother and had all these things. And I got blue screened and lost everything that I had.
Oh no.
And I never went back to it. I always say I'm gonna go back and try to make that again. I know what you're talking about. Like, man, I did all that, and it's so disheartening. And
it's soul crushing. It's not even just disheartening. It's like soul crushing.
I spent 3 hours making a talking horse for this damn game, and then anyway.
But yeah. So that's
ironically that's not the first or last time he's ever said that statement.
Oh, no.
So I'm going to talk to you. If you do emotes, you might be getting commission for the Guyver channel for all 6 people. Oh, no, it's 7 now.
Average is up.
I paid someone. Paid someone to hang out. So, I mean, what's your art style? Like, I want to talk about this too, because this is really fascinating to me. Like, do you like to draw like people? Do you like to do like anime style? Do you like to do like cosplay style? Like, like what kind of art do you enjoy the most?
Well, okay. So you've been to my channel.
Yes.
Have you seen the Cthulhu that's in the background?
Yeah.
I did that.
Did you really?
Art. That is my artwork.
Okay, that's fucking awesome.
Yes. Cthulhu is actually my channel branding. That's where like all the little squids come from and everything.
Right. Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
I
why
did
you
not
love
know that.
That spaceman level. Then with
yes.
like everybody's
It
terrified
speaks
of
to
it.
me.
And then Prom's just like, I'm gonna go look at it.
I want to go touch it.
Yeah. It all makes sense now.
Yeah, no, that it makes complete sense. Okay, so do you like drawing the more horror stuff, more spooky?
Honestly, it just depends. I wonder if I can show you some of the ones that I've done, because I've done a lot of emotes for like AEC family people. Let's see. Can I share this?
Yeah, hold on one sec. Let me make sure I have it on. You should be able to.
Says host disabled participant.
Okay, let me do this. We do that on purpose.
Yeah, no, I kind of figured.
Advanced sharing options. Okay,
So
try it now. Try it now.
Because I have some of the AEC ones.
And see, nerds, this is why we do this kind of stuff. Like, we get to know what all that our guests do. And if you're interested, we'll put links in the show description. So you can get a hold. If you need some custom designs, get a hold of Prom.
Gal.
Because I love this Harley Quinn.
I bet I know who that's for. I had to
Yeah.
guess.
Danny.
That Danny's, yeah, it's Danny.
Yeah. That was Danny's one. This
I take
is
it Danny
my-
likes Harley Quinn.
yes.
Mhm.
This is my AUC
Okay, I love that.
with the ghost squid. Just Super Sang.
Mhm.
Oh, with the Dragon Ball.
Yeah. Got Kick Metallic. Because his is like Cheshire Cat, kind of. Psychedelic Cheshire Cat was the description I got.
That's awesome.
And then my friend, another one of my friends, this was an interesting one.
Is
Because
that
the
supposed to be swords or a cloud sword?
That's,
so it's a mix
Final
of the Buster
Fantasy.
Sword
Uh-huh.
and a chain blade from Warhammer.
Oh,
Oh.
that's awesome. I see that now.
I see big sword. I automatically think. Like,
Oh yeah.
Final-
I mean,
yeah.
it's kind of an iconic one. This one
Yeah.
was fun to do.
Oh, that's
This
cool.
one was a bitch.
That is cool.
I free-handed the entire hand, and that was a lot of
literal
work.
freehand.
Yeah.
Literally freehand. The hand is detached. Oh, I love that one.
Yeah. The karambit knives, which you can't really see. I put so much detail in them, you can't even see them because they're behind the skull.
But
And
it's
this is
still
looks
cool.
awesome.
without the rip on it.
That's awesome.
And then the ones that I've done for my sister-in-law, because she's got like the monkey theme.
Oh, that's
I
cool.
love that.
This is her channel point currency. So the jungle coins.
That's really cool.
And then the monkey face, which is her sub badge. He's so cute.
Wow. So for those of you who are listening, if you go watch our YouTube channel,
Mm-hmm.
you can see these pictures too, and they are super impressive.
Yep.
I like the little love heart. The hype.
That's awesome.
This is one of my favorite ones though.
Oh, that's awesome. It's like evil monkey in the closet.
Right. Oh, wait, I missed. And then I did Sarka's AEC as well.
Oh, you did
that is-
Sarkis?
Yep.
Awesome.
I love that.
But yeah, those are the ones that I currently have done. These are the ones that were saved somewhere else that didn't get deleted.
Related. I love that though, Prom.
I like because there's like a certain, almost a certain style that you have to hit for Twitch art for emotes.
It really depends because like I see bunches of different styles of emotes, but generally it's like you have to just keep in mind that really fine details
Mhm.
aren't going to be seen because
what I
of
was-
how
that's-
small they
yeah,
are.
that's what I was getting into. Like you can't go super fine detail because then you shrink it down to 18 by 18 or 24 by 24 and it gets lost. So
You
being
just
able to
can't do it.
keep that detail visible in those smaller
Yeah.
sizes is key, and like
Cthulhu.
those kill it.
Oh, that is awesome.
This is my Cthulhu. This is also my merch. So
Cool.
I like that.
this was my first ever attempt at doing anything digital because this was when I first got my tablet. Because up until the beginning of 2019, I did everything by hand. Like I did no digital
Woo.
art, nothing like that.
What are you
So-
using? A Wacom tablet?
I got a Wacom tablet on Amazon for like $103.
Damn.
Yeah, super cheap because
We paid
Wacom
$400
tablets.
for ours.
The like Wacom tablets are not cheap. So I got mine on Amazon. I also got Clip Art Studio, which I was actually going to buy anyway
Mhm.
for free with the tablet. And then I got a 90-day trial of like 3 other things. And I liked the way Clip Art Studio works because there's so many tutorials on it and there's so many free resources. You don't have to pay a monthly subscription unlike Adobe bullshit.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Anyway,
That's
really
awesome.
cool.
I love that. So why did we go off on this? You guys are asking. Well, first, if you're just listening to this for the first time, that's what we do. Number
Tangents.
one. Yeah.
Mhm.
Number two, this all goes along with the women in gaming. Like
Mhm.
Prom is doing gaming, streaming art for other people, which is part of her passion, part of her interest. And so it all comes full circle.
And that is the thing that, like, gaming is not just, I mean, gaming can still just be gaming. Like, if you're killing some time in the evening, but it has evolved into this whole different thing now as we've got, because there's all this commerce around it now.
Well,
Mhm.
and especially on Twitch, because, like people who want to grow on Twitch and who want to make it more than just hobby streaming, it's like you have to think about branding, you have to think about like marketing, and like there's so many elements in marketing in general on Twitch, because like it's like, what games are you playing? Like, what's your branding? What platforms do you want to include in like where you put out your content? So like TikTok, which I avoid because I just don't like the platform. Instagram, Twitter, Hover, a whole bunch of other ones. It's like I'm just bad at posting my content elsewhere personally.
Like, I've always heard that, like, if you want to grow on Twitch, you have to get off of Twitch and bring people in from other places.
Yeah.
Or make yourself more discoverable, because Twitch's algorithm sucks.
It does.
But
it really does.
It's so hard to get discovered, and then once you do, just keeping them there. But all the pretties, all the things to look at, cool emotes and things to interact with that like increases audience engagement, and that's the stuff that you're doing with the emotes and the artwork and all that really helps. So that's part of the reason we went down that path, because it is important. It's a part of gaming. It's a part of, if you're wanting to make it a career, whether it be part-time, full-time, or just just an expressive outlet, that's a portion of the pie that you have to have out there.
Mm-hmm.
So that was fun. Something probably not as fun, but this is a topic that I think that we and we're going to talk about it often. Is just the toxicity in gaming. Offline single player, not a problem, more than likely. But you're like us, you're playing for the escapism and that you play a lot of online multiplayer, or you're out there on Twitch, and so you're not just you by yourself at your desk playing a game and getting lost all the time. You have interaction, you have the people out there, the populace that you're seeing and interacting with, and that opens the door for the inevitable toxicity that comes through.
I think it also has a lot to do with the types of games you play. Because like, for example, like Call of Duty and like the first person shooters, those ones draw in a whole bunch more toxicity. Or League of Legends, because before I even started Twitch a long time ago, back when I was in university, I actually played League of Legends competitively, and it has the most toxic community I have ever met in my entire life.
More so than Rust?
More so than Rust.
Really?
Yeah. Like the League community, it's gotten better, but it was so bad. Like so bad. Yeah. Like it was one of the main reasons why I just stopped playing League. That and playing competitively, you basically, it's like having a second job, and I just didn't want that anymore. I just wanted to have fun. I wanted to play the game to have fun, and every time I would play, it was like, no, we got to practice these strats. You got to practice like landing these moves, and I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
I could just
when it gets to that point, that's when it's because we play games for fun. That's what we do. Like,
and I mean, there are people who do like the competitive gaming and they go into tournaments and that stuff. We weren't even doing tournaments. So I'm like,
yeah,
why are we taking it so seriously?
When the fun gets sucked out of it, it just kills it, And
yeah,
I mean, they can be competitive and fun because you can have fun from the competition,
Oh yeah,
not having fun with the game, but the competition side is fun for some people. But like, I'm sensing you're kind of like me. Like, if it's not fun after a while, I'm just like, I want to find something else to do. This sucks.
Yeah, pretty much.
I've got limited free time, and this is eating into that.
Pretty much, and it's like it works for some people, but it just, especially when the toxicity starts leaking into your team itself, and your team starts like poking and bickering with each other. It's like, why are we doing this? It's like, we've been friends for how many years? Like, why are we like just bitching about this stupid thing in a video game?
Yep.
Doesn't make sense.
It's exactly like Kyle was saying. That's exactly like how we are. Like, I have limited time. The older I'm getting, why am I going to put up with this?
Yeah,
Mhm.
pretty much.
This is making it no fun for me. Shut the fuck up and just start killing the other team.
Yeah.
Like doing that. So I'm going to be muting off and on. Bender decided to wheel his way into here.
Your robo vacuum.
Yes, my Roomba. We named him Bender, Bending Rodriguez.
I like it.
And his dumbass decided to wheel his way in here. So you may see the green screen going.
He runs into it.
Yeah, he keeps running into it because he's stupid.
Well, and like going along the same lines of like competitiveness in games, it's like that's one of the reasons why even in MMOs that I currently play, I don't do PvP. Like I don't do player versus player because I don't enjoy it. Because it's like when you're going against a boss that is programmed, it has certain patterns, it's got like telegraphed stuff. It's like, okay, I can figure this out and then I can just learn how to just walk across this boss. This is fine. It's so much harder to do that against other players. And then you have the players that are like, GG, easy. And I'm like, you know what, go fuck yourself.
And
Like-
that's exactly it.
Mhm.
But it
That's-
makes it no fun for me. I know some people thrive on that. Let's talk about that real quick. Do you think that those kind of games, especially like the first person shooters, do you think it brings out the worst in the toxic, what's it called? Toxic masculinity in a lot of guys?
It's not even just men. Like the women are just as bad.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Thank
In fact,
God.
I'm pretty
I
I'm
wouldn't have
pretty sure
expected that.
I'm pretty sure that the women who play those games who are
Yeah.
like on comms and stuff are worse than most of the men because they feel like they have to be more savage.
And
And
that's
women
what-
just go for the throat because that's
that was
just
going to be
their
my,
style.
my next question. So you think that that it's a direct response from playing with those toxic men?
Like a
Yeah.
defense mechanism.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. It's like
Mhm.
they have to be more aggressive. They have to be more vocal and louder and angrier because that's the environment that they're in.
Yeah.
And
heard-
if they're not bringing their voice up, the men are just gonna walk all over them.
You heard my kiddo talking shit the other night when we were playing Fortnite.
Oh Jesus! Like okay,
He's on it.
Prom. I don't know if you were in his channel when he was doing it, but his
Maybe not.
daughter talks so much shit in Fortnite. Like I kept going. Okay, backstory.
To me, I'm on her team.
I know to her, to him. She was talking a lot of shit to him.
Oh, that's funny.
And she's like, Dad, you suck. And he's like, what? Every time they come over, she's just at that age, and she's like my oldest. They're both painfully shy
Mm.
around people they don't really know real well. And you know, Kyle's told me this before, but just to the point where she doesn't even talk when she's over here, which they're at that age.
Yeah.
You know, I get that. I get that. So I was giving him and her shit last when they were playing. I'm like, I thought she was mute. And then all of a
Oh.
sudden I hear this cute little voice going, thought I was mute. What do you mean thought I was mute? Who thought I was mute? Just going on. And so I just kept it going.
Oh, that's
Talk a lot of
funny.
crap.
I
No,
just
it-
kept it going because that's the
Really
most I've
proud
heard
of
her
her.
saying.
I was actually really proud of her
Weird.
because she wasn't like over the top, like mean
Yeah.
talking crap. It's like she talked constructive shit. Like she did it really well. Like I'm so proud of this child, even though she's giving me crap about my aim because Fortnite
What?
aiming is stupid.
But you know, she was right.
She's right. Yeah, you just hear "run, Dad, run," and apparently, like I had unbound my run key from left shift to like it was completely unbound. So I've been playing the whole night, not being able to sprint.
He's
Like, it
been
was just
trotting along.
this jog, and she's like, "Run!" And like I am. She's like, "No, you're not, or your hands would do something different. Dad, do something different." Like, oh my God.
I think at one point she yelled at him, "You're not even trying."
Yeah, yeah. So
But here's
Wow.
the thing: she can back it up, though. She's really good.
she's pretty good. She's pretty good.
She's
I'm proud of her.
really good. She can back it up.
Excellent.
She's way better than Kyle.
Like and on the toxicity thing, something about talking and the shit talking, all that. And so there's multiplayer games that have voice comms, multiplayer games that have no voice comms, multiplayer games that have no comms. In focusing mainly on having voice comms or not, as a female gamer, do you notice a difference in how you are treated when there are voice comms versus no voice comms, no way to easily identify that the character that you're playing is backed by a female on the real side?
I don't tend to play games that have voice comms, and like usually if there's communication required, I'm playing with friends.
Mhm.
And if there's a game that requires voice comms, I don't go into voice comms ever. I just
Is
don't.
it for the reasons we've discussed?
Not really. It's just I don't feel like talking to random people most of the time. It's like unless like something is being directly said to me, and usually it's like people are like, hey, like you person do this or you person do that. But like I if I'm gonna play a game that requires communication, I'm not playing it with randoms because it sucks.
As we learned the other.
It just does
Mm.
suck in general. Like I hate trying to. Yeah.
Yeah, and like fuck years ago, I was playing another MMO, and my character, because we had the option to dress our character up in like other clothes outside of our armor, everybody assumed I was a guy because of the way I dressed my character.
Really?
So my character was an elf, which is like in this game it was like the second tallest. So like my tall long-legged elf lady was running around with panties, a beaded bra, pigtails, and thigh-high stockings. Everybody thought I was a dude.
So,
And then I got invited to a
Wait.
guild. Yeah.
so picking the girliest of girly
They seem
outerwear
to.
or underwear, I guess, as your
Yeah, but
display.
most-
I mean, like, oh, that's a dude playing the chick.
Most dudes would dress their character
Oh, yeah.
in basically nothing. And all the
Chove.
girls want to have
I
like the
see,
pretty
chove.
outfits and the pretty dresses and this, that, and the other thing. Because there were a lot of really nice dresses that you could have
Right.
on your character. And most of the girls in the game would dress their characters in like these pretty, like flowery or bow-filled outfits. And I'm like, nope, I want the beaded bra and the panties. And I joined a guild. And I think we were using TeamSpeak at that point, back in the TeamSpeak era. And they're like, oh, come say hi. It's like voice chat. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, because that was one of my first times ever really having interactions in a voice chat in a game, like especially in a massive multiplayer game. And yeah, joined and I was like, hi guys. And they're like, wait, you're a girl? And I'm like, yeah, why? They're like, but your character. I'm like, yeah, she looks good. What? And and the other really
Yeah, she looks
ridiculous
good.
toxic thing in this game was you could get married in the game.
Okay.
And people took it really, really seriously. Like if you were married in game, like that person was like involved in your real life.
What?
Yeah, it was a weird dynamic in that game. It was a strange time.
What game was this?
Forsaken World. Perfect
We
World
both look
Entertainment.
up to the sky trying to think, like, do we know this one?
Well, I'm just trying to. Yeah. Well, that's part of it. Then I'm just trying to wrap my head around.
Yeah, it was
You
a
get
weird dynamic.
Get married in game, and then all of a sudden you become possessive over someone you've never met in real life.
Yep.
Hmm.
Or
That's
like
the definition
somebody
of toxic.
like my character got married, I think like 3 or 4 times within my lifetime of that game. The first marriage ended because my computer died and I didn't have access to like any way to like communicate with people. So my in-game husband divorced me and then married somebody else right away because he wanted the buffs and he wanted to do the daily quests and stuff because he didn't
So
think
there
I was coming
perks
back.
tied to it.
Yeah, like there were quests that like daily quests that you could do.
Mhm.
There were like if you were in a party with your spouse, you had like increased damage, increased health.
There were married dailies, so it's like argue over the laundry.
Well, no, it's
See
like
who-
go blow a kiss to your lover or like carry your spouse from this point to this point in the city. Yeah, it was a
really
strange time.
random.
It was very random. Like, yeah, it was a strange game. And when I logged back in and realized that I didn't have a husband anymore, I was like, well, what happened? And he got super defensive about it. And he was like, well, I didn't think you were coming back and this, that, the other thing. I'm like, okay, I just asked why. So I ended up leaving that guild and I joined a different guild because I'm like, you know what, fuck you. Like, you're making my life miserable because you're
Bye. Making this not a game.
You're making this stupid. Like, bye. I'm going elsewhere. And I think I flew solo for a bit, and then I was in a group with somebody who was like their guild leader of another guild, And they're like, oh, like you're a really good healer, because that's normally what I do in a game. I'm either playing a healer or a support. It's what I do in games because it's where I have the most fun. And I ended up joining the guild, and one of the officers had a thing for the guild leader, despite the fact that one, they've never met in real life. But one, she liked his voice. And what pictures she had seen of him, she's like, oh my God, he's so hot. So she like had in her brain that she was going to marry this guy in game, and then they were going to like fall madly in love outside of the game. Like I said, it was a very strange dynamic in this game.
Yeah.
And then he and I got married in game. And he actually did come to see me in real life.
Wow.
He flew from Australia, and we spent a week together. And he did ask me to go back to Australia with him. I just wasn't ready for that kind of a long distance commitment as of yet. So like we're still friends to this day. We still talk occasionally because, you know, he doesn't spend as much time online. But like, she got so fucking mad about it. And she had the succubus pet that she nicknamed that bitch, which was a direct reference to me. She ended up getting booted out of the guild because she was trying to get everybody to hate on me. And they're like, but one, she's like one of our best healers. Two, she's done nothing. It's like she got married to this guy in game. So this is what I'm saying, where like women are usually worse when it comes to toxicity than men. But we tend to stay in the background for the most part. But when it does come out, it's like raging volcano of like bullshit and toxicity. It's ridiculous.
I had no idea.
It was just like the whole dynamic of like that system in the game just made things really weird.
Well, it sounds like it. I mean, it's cool that you're still friends with the game husband from the old game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the kind of friendships, you know, that are really cool because they last.
Yeah. I mean, granted, he and I have had several like really angry fights because he didn't like the fact that I wouldn't go to Australia with him, because that was kind of to him the whole reason why he was coming to see me.
Yeah.
Is because he wanted a long relationship and he wanted something long term, and I just wasn't ready for it at all. And I was very
he's in
honest.
Australia.
And he wanted me to
Australia does
move
sound
to
kinda cool.
Australia with him.
I'm starting to think
There's
about
literally-
Australia.
Yeah, there's literally like 70 animals that can kill you in Australia if they
Their
look
house
at
spiders
you.
are like this big, and I don't do well with spiders at all.
And there's
Like, to begin
dingoes.
with.
Dingoes and a baby.
The dingoes and the snakes and the spiders, and I'm just
Wallabies.
like, I'm not ready for that kind of a commitment.
Wallabies.
It was just, it's like I wish it had worked out, but at the same time, I'm like, I think I'm in a better place now than I would have been if I'd moved.
I'm glad
Just
you
because
didn't,
of-
because now you play with us.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, and like the whole, like the family dynamic in Australia is very much reminiscent of like the 1950s.
Ah,
Like, woman keeps the house, man does the work. And
that's
like,
not you.
if you are a woman and you were in the workforce and you can do what you want, like people like women in America and like Canada, where it's like we get to choose what we wear, we can go out whenever we want, we don't have to ask permission. Like, that's a rarity in Australia. Like, the women always
Really?
ask for permission to do everything, which I
No
think
thanks.
is, well, at least from what I've been told, because I had
Mhm.
a friend and a coworker a while ago who lived in Australia with her husband and family for a long number of years, and she could just go do what she want, and all of her girlfriends are like, you didn't have to ask permission? And she's like, no. Like, why? I'm going to the grocery store, I'm going out to hang out with my friends, why would I need permission to do that? And I'm, for anybody who's listening who might be from Australia, I'm sorry if that's not the dynamic that you would actually, I'm not even sorry, it's like, if you do have that dynamic, it's like,
Get out.
cool. But if that's not the dynamic that you have in your family, then that's awesome, and I'm very glad for you, because that's a ridiculous dynamic to have in your family, in my opinion. Like, it's just, it's like, that's a whole set
Whole
of
new
like,
thing. Well, kind of ironically, all her friends that were in Australia, they were all named Debbie.
Debbie.
Like, there was Debbie 1, Debbie 2, Debbie from Oak, Debbie from Elm, Debbie from Walla Walla. You know, they were all Debbie.
Going back to the notes.
Hey, sorry, I'm bad for going off on tangents.
No. This is what we love. This is what makes the show.
I'm a tangent person, so.
Oh yeah. So we did go multiplayer and toxicity and stuff, but now another thing that gets hit on and gets talked about a lot is just representation in general. And so that I think single player games is a good way to kind of channel that focus on this. You know, there's a lot more representation of all spectrums of people in games now, and leads and different characters.
Inclusiveness is getting a lot better.
It's getting a lot better. And so as you and I'm not saying like, oh, you're speaking for all female gamers. I'm just asking you as Prom.
Yep.
What game do you feel represents you as the person that you are the best on? So like on a single player level, like you're like, oh, I relate to that character. I relate to that game. You feel like that hits the mark really well for you.
I haven't played like a whole pile of like single player games, but I mean, like for me, it's like I can be whoever I want in Skyrim.
There you go.
Like, it doesn't matter if I'm like sneaky archery chick who's just laughing as like I'm just crouched in the middle of the street shooting at people and they're like, oh, must have been the wind. Or my other playthrough, which I have, where my character wears full heavy armor, I've got a shield and then a warp pick so that I go and I chop people's heads off, which is way entertaining. It's like just full sprint and off with your head. Bye-bye.
Like Lancelot and
It's
Monty
so good.
Python.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just waiting.
Yep.
Here comes Prom. There goes Prom. There's some heads.
That's one of my favorite things ever is that scene.
Oh yeah.
I freaking love that scene.
I do too, but now I'm just imagining Prom's characters riding through the castle to save the princesses or princes or whoever needs rescuing, and then all of a sudden they're just chopping heads off.
So I think what I'm getting from
Now you're thinking about that too.
that's gonna be our next stream, just Prom decapitating people on Skyrim for 4 hours.
I'd watch it.
Got a theme. Themes help. So what I'm getting from you, like you personally, what you like, because you hear it a lot. I mean, I love gaming stuff, and I'm reading articles and stuff all the time, and I'm always seeing things about it. There's usually at least an article a day somewhere about something being more inclusive or being less inclusive or excluding people and things like that. So yours seems to come from more having the availability of customization options to create a character that represents you, not just like a preset character. Like, okay, this is the hero of the story. I can relate to her. Like, I can make my own hero. I can make my own protagonist or antagonist, depending on how you want to play it, and mold that to what you want your character to be.
Yeah. And I mean, it's the same, like the two single player games that I play a lot are Skyrim and The Sims. Granted, I don't really play The Sims very often. I'm just building, but it's like, it's the same. It's like I can create my own story with a character. I could like make them whoever I want because, and like in terms of inclusiveness, like they're adding different pronouns for characters. So if you create a female sim, they can identify as a man, or they can identify as they, them in different pronouns. And I think that's like, that it's really, really important because the LGBT community is so misrepresented in so many games, or underrepresented in a lot of games too. And I had a friend who started playing Tiny Tina's Wonderland and made such a big fuss over the fact that he had to pick a pronoun for his character. And he bitched about it. And it was like the main bitching point for him. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, you do know that one of your mods is a non-binary person, right? And then it started clicking in my brain that he has never identified this person as they, them. He just calls them by their name because it's too much of an issue for him to learn to say they, them when they are feminine in voice and appearance.
Wow.
And I'm just like, the more I learn about you, the less I'm liking you. Like, of all the things to bitch about in a video game, a pronoun is the biggest issue for you? Really?
When there's a lot bigger issues, like let's say, oh, it's crashing every 2 minutes,
It's
or
crashing,
the gameplay
or like,
sucks.
exactly. It's like, why is this such a big problem? And it's like, if you don't like having to pick, then just go automatic with whatever the hell you want to do. Like, if you're playing a female character, go she, her. It doesn't affect your gameplay that much, but it hits a group that are so underrepresented in games, where it's like people are starting to be able to actually identify with their characters and be able to connect more with video games, which is so freaking important in all aspects.
Well, Kyle, it's like you said before, representation matters.
It does. It does. I mean,
it really does.
I don't get where the big hubbub gets made of people being negative about it like that, because it really, like, how is giving somebody else a choice to feel welcomed into playing something negatively affecting your experience? It's not. You're picking a damn box.
Exactly.
Like, regardless of, you know, even if your personal views are way out, whatever it is, you're picking a box. It's not affecting you in any way at all. You're just saying, like, yeah, you know, or you could just let the game choose for you and be like, you'd have this big hulking Conan the Barbarian looking guy, and then the game's like, okay, well, that's she, her. Now that's the exact same thing of not giving the option, and that would piss those people off even worse. So you got the option to make it how you want it, to be whatever you want to be. It's there.
So that like the narrator will actually identify your specific character in a way that connects you more to your character, which is just, it's like such a minor thing that like most people would just brush off and be like, okay, whatever, like I'll just pick this. But so many trans people, so many non-binary people, it's just, it means a lot to a community that is growing really, really quickly, because more people are comfortable with identifying as non-binary and coming out as being transgender or whatever. And it makes me so angry when people are like making such a big deal about clicking a box in a video game.
An argument I made with a friend the other day when we were talking about dealing with people that are toxic against even just, you know, calling somebody by what they prefer to be called, because it doesn't hurt you a damn bit to do that.
Nope.
And usually it's some self-proclaimed alpha male dude or whatever. I'm probably gonna piss somebody off listening to that, but whatever. Alpha male is such a bullshit term anyway.
If you're an alpha male, where's your fanny pack with your snacks and your water?
Well, first off, if you're telling everybody you're an
packs.
alpha male, you're not, because if you by what that would probably be, you shouldn't have to tell anybody. That's a whole different thing anyway. If you're telling anybody, you're making up for something else.
We'll make you a shirt that says "I'm an alpha male."
I'm an alpha male.
Really want?
Yeah, so everybody will know that.
And and some underwear.
And so I'm like, usually it's going to be some dude raising shit over that, and like, okay, well, thanks, Bob. And he's like, well, my name's not Bob. My name's Steve. Like, well, you look like every other Bob I've seen, so I'm gonna call you Bob. He's like, but I'm Steve. You know, call me Steve. Like, no, you don't look like a Steve to me. You look like a Bob, so I'm gonna call you Bob. Anyway, that's my rant.
Yeah. That's the definition of a douche canoe.
Yeah, not the kind on prop night where we whack Guyver in the head with a canoe.
That's true. Yeah, that's the good kind of douche canoe.
I love that we got our own terminology for things in the games we play, like bust out the douche canoe, or
I don't call
somebody
people
got prommed, or
I don't call people douche canoes. I call them cock nozzles.
Ooh,
oh, I love that.
Where's my notebook?
Lily calls people when she gets real mad. She calls them. She goes, "Leave me alone, you knob goblin." And I'm like, "Oh, that's
I like that one too."
That's combining a lot of my favorite stuff, like my wiener and
Goblins.
fantasy stuff and goblins.
Fantasy wieners. Okay.
Fantasy wieners.
Knob goblins. So, there's just a lot to be said about, again, the toxicity in the gaming community. And, you know, if someone wants to be called something,
just
what's it hurting you? Yeah, just respect it. Who cares?
It's not that big of a deal. Like,
if it humanizes a person, That's what we need more of nowadays.
Yeah, pretty
I've
much.
I've never personally come across anybody where if I've misgendered or whatever, if I've got something wrong, that they've been expressively like mad and angry at me because it's like, okay, well, but this, I'm like, oh, okay, I can do that.
Yeah, they'll
It's
just
like,
quietly correct you.
Yeah.
And like on the same token, like the people that like get corrected and then start profusely apologizing, it's like they don't need you to apologize, they just need you to fix it.
Yeah.
Because if you're apologizing, now they feel the need to be like, no, it's okay, when it's not. It's like,
Yeah.
they corrected you don't have to apologize, at least not like to that extent. You can just be like, okay, thank you for correcting me, because now I can identify you better.
Most people understand because of how our brains are wired, and we automatically assume one thing or the other because that's just human nature. That's how it is.
Exactly.
95% are going to be cool and be like, yeah, no, this, and most people are like, oh, okay. I mean, and they're just like, every group of people's like every other group of people. You're going to run into some assholes in every group that are going to go off or whatever. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. You're also an asshole, but most people are going to be cool, and that's where we should live, is just be cool with each other, be good to each other.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, it takes like, it might take you a couple of times like learning to say the proper thing, because especially if you've been calling that person by a specific gender for most of the time that you've known them, and then they've been like, well, that's not how I identify. It's like, okay, please correct me when I get it wrong, so that I can start to retrain my brain to call you by the right thing. Because that's all it is. It's just retraining your brain.
Yeah, it's easy.
Exactly. Because like the one friend, I kept misgendering them. I kept saying, oh, she, and then finally somebody DM'd me. They're like, by the way, they identified as this. And I'm like, oh, well, thank you for correcting me so I can fix that, because I didn't know. Nobody told me. Nobody said anything. But thank you for like letting me know that, okay. And there have been times where I still did say she, and then I would immediately be like, I'm sorry, they. And then I would like restructure my sentence, and like, just about reprogramming the brain, because that's the great thing about the human brain, is you can reprogram it, retrain it. It's a great thing about being human. That's the way our brain works.
Exactly.
That was a fun one to go off on. That was a
It
good
was.
one, and a needed one.
When we needed to. And I think it's very relevant to this topic too. Where are we?
I don't know. I'm thinking we've kind of hit this. We've hit that.
We've hit a lot of. See, again, this is why we have a show flow.
Kind of
so
go in here.
I think we're right there.
Yeah, we can go with that.
Okay. So, Prom, what do you feel would help women in the gaming industry? Like, this is a complete open-ended question, because there's no right or wrong answer for it.
It's not really something that I've given a lot of thought, to be honest, because women in games are much more open about like who they are, more so now than they used to be. And I think Twitch has helped that a lot, and streaming services have helped that a lot. YouTube, even like women posting like playthroughs and whatever on YouTube, like people are starting to understand that it's not exclusively a male dominated community. There are certain genres that are more male dominated still, but it's mostly just because the community and the way they react more than anything else. Like first person shooters, for example. It's like you will almost always see more men in that community than anything else. But I just think that women need to help themselves a little bit more, because there are so many of them that still walk on eggshells, because it's like we feel like we need to. It's like, no, use your fucking voice. Like if somebody's being disrespectful, like tying it into my stream directly, I've had people come into my stream and be like, because I don't tend to wear, like I'm wearing more makeup now than I wear on my stream. Like I don't tend to put that much effort into my appearance. It's like I'll pull my hair up, I'll put on like clean clothes. There we go. There's my effort on my stream. But it's like I've had people come into my stream and be like, oh, you should put makeup on, you'd look better. And I'm like, bruh, get the fuck out of my space. Like, that's really your first message in my stream? Like,
That's
do
so
you really, it's
disrespectful.
like, do you really think I care, first of all? But there are so many women who in an internet space, when they're playing games and when they're doing this, it's like they feel like they just have to appease people because they feel like that's how they're going to get noticed, that's how they're going to, or they shoehorn themselves in with, you know, like the titty streamers and the girls who are dressing scantily clad because, you know, it's like that's what gets views. I don't have the boobs to be a titty streamer, so like that's never been one of my things, and I'm like, I don't want to be identified by my cleavage.
I could if I really.
Well, I think you, me, and Shaunicus could.
Yeah. Well, Sonic
So-
kind of already is.
Banner.
But it's
Pretty
like,
much everyone we play with.
but it's like women feel a need to go a certain way
Mhm.
just because it's like they see that's what's successful, and it makes me so sad that it's like you don't have to be a hoe to be like one appreciated and liked, and like again it comes back to like communities that you're a part of and like the people who influence you, and the whole circle that surrounds you on the internet really influences where you take yourself. And I think that women in general just need to, one, be more comfortable with themselves. I'm not, but I'm working on it. Like, I'm just me. It's like people, there are a lot of people who don't like me because I'm very straightforward with the way I approach people. I'm very honest with, like, if somebody says something that I'm like, you know what, I don't agree with you. I can and to some degree, it's like I can understand where you're coming from. I don't personally agree with you, but okay. And people just like, women just need to have a stronger voice for themselves and be able to stand up for themselves and feel comfortable representing themselves in an authentic way rather than just hopping on the bandwagon and going along with what's popular, because they're going to get burnt out, they're going to get tired, and they're going to get disrespected by a lot of people, and it's going to make them feel really horrible about themselves. And I don't want to see that anymore.
I love that answer. I really do. I love that answer. It kind of went into, again, one of the other questions that we had about what you thought about the gamers who use their sexuality to promote gaming. Well, that hit on a lot of it. It's very well said.
Building on it too, it's like it is a marketing strategy. If you are comfortable with your sexuality, you're comfortable with the way you look, and you have no problem like either tuning out or banning or getting rid of those people, then build on it. But there are people who start building on that, and then they start to realize how many people are only there for their appearance. And anytime that something slips, that like maybe they didn't do their makeup as well the one day, or maybe like there's just something else that goes on, and then they have all these people coming down on them because they're like, oh, you know, like you look like crap today, or like this, that, the other thing. It's a comfort level thing, and it's a marketing tactic. And for the women who do it, I don't understand it. And there are some women who just use it because they know it's going to make them money. And that pisses me off, because especially on Twitch, there's a vast majority of like the girls who are like sitting in hot tubs and doing all this kind of thing. And I'm like, that is such a bad representation of the majority of female gamers. Like, that is because most people, when I tell them I'm a streamer on Twitch, they're like, oh, like, what do you do? And I'm like, I play video games. They're like, do you wear like scantily clad clothes? I'm like, no. But that's what people know Twitch as for female gamers and female streamers. And it's just like, it drives me nuts. Like, I understand it to a degree, but I hate it with like every fiber of my being. But it's like, you do you, if that's making you money, whatever.
Not the course I'm going with.
No, because I'm like, doing my makeup takes way too long, and I'm generally napping until like 10 minutes before my stream. So I'd be like late all the time if I like got up and went, oh my God, I have to do my makeup. That, and I have so many skin issues right now that like wearing makeup, my face doesn't like it. Today is fine. Like my face isn't itchy today, but like 90% of the time when I put makeup on, my entire face puffs up and I get itchy because I have very, very sensitive skin.
Oh man.
And like I have to be careful of products that I use because of like allergies, because I'm allergic to coconut, which is in so many things, like lotions and moisturizers and
Everything.
fucking makeup removers. And
Right.
I'm allergic to my shampoo because there's a coconut-based chemical that's literally in every store-bought shampoo.
Loved how we were in the middle of the match last night. This goes with this. Follow me. We're in the middle of the match last night, like it's heated, and we're trying to go, who's sus, who's the monster, and there's gunfire going. And in the middle of all this madness, because there's like 12 people talking at once, I pick up this conversation that's going on in the middle of all this madness of makeup advice coming between, I think it was Cat and you, I think, or was it Cat and Bird?
I think it might have been Cat and Bird.
Cat and Bird. So I could hear like there's just like all this gunfire and madness, and then there's just like this
I remember that. I tuned
side
into that. I was
makeup
like,
conversation going on, and you could hear Cat like asking the questions or like giving these references, and then all of a sudden like and just like gunshots going off, and then like right back to the. And it was one of the freaking funniest things.
Wait, I just realized we've been playing with mortal enemies. Then we've had a cat and a bird
Oh,
playing at the same time.
we have.
Yeah.
And then
Play on
Prom
that next
noms
one.
both of them.
Cat.
Look, there's the cat.
He's passed smooth out. Oh, he was. Now he's mad.
He hates
Boo-boo.
Mondays.
Oh, good thing it's a Sunday.
Yep, good thing it is a Sunday. He's fluffy.
He's very fluffy. Hi, baby. I had to shave him once, and it was very sad because he got really bad gnats across his back, and I didn't catch them in time to be able to brush them out. So I had to go get him shaved, and his undercoat is peachy colored, so he just looked naked. I'm like, never again. I'm never doing this to you
Did you
again.
leave his head? At least
His
so he
head was
like,
fluffy, his legs were fluffy, and his tail was fluffy, but his body was just naked.
He probably hated life for a long time.
Oh yeah. But
Nice.
like the parts that had the gnats, they had to like legitimately go almost all the way down to his skin because that's how bad they were. He hates the brush, but I force him to endure it, and I bribe him with treats. Anyway, away from this.
We got.
When he gets
Food
mad,
bribery.
yeah, we have to go. Look, Casey, got a beer.
That's how this happened.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll just do that for the rest of it. Whatever.
Yeah.
So. It's
Got a beer, Casey. Let me shave you.
And here we are with it.
And this is why we're still together.
So 2 good ones to kind of, I think, good questions to pin like this whole conversation. Well, a lot of the conversation. I mean, we went so many different angles on really good topics, like extremely important topics. So like 2, do you have a favorite female streamer that you just like love to watch? Or it could be multiple. And do you have a favorite female video game character, and why on both of them?
I have several very, very good female streamers that I watch like all the time. One of them is my good friend Nixus. She is the leader of the Baja Squad, which is one of the stream teams that I'm a part of. But she's just such a bright, beautiful soul. She's very interactive with her community. She's got so much energy, and it's all good vibes, all of it. And she's very good at keeping her boundaries comfortable for not only herself but also the viewers. So like no ages in chat ever. If anybody's talking about age, it's like I am redacted years old.
Wow.
So it's like there's no ageism happening. There's always a lot of like, like some of the people in the community, they have like the pronouns command. So it's like, hey, everybody, like, how do we identify so we can identify you properly? And people just start spamming the chat with like what their pronouns are. And it's a very, very inclusive community. And she deals with a lot of like physical disability, and she has a lot of health problems in regards to that disability. But she's one of my favorite streamers to watch, and I try and watch her like at all times when I can. And it's like every time she sees me, she gets so excited, and it's great, and it makes me feel like it's like body level energy. And she tends to play a lot of indie horror games, which are games that I'm not normally going to play because I'm a horror sissy and I don't like playing scary games. I just don't.
But you love Cthulhu.
I do. See, Lovecraft in that kind of universe, it's like
Didn't scare you.
it's not as horror as like the jump scares and like
Right,
the
right. You don't like the jump scares.
Creepy
the
is
jump
good. Jump
scares and
scares are bad.
the psychological horror kind of stuff. It's like it gets to me like really, really quickly. So I have a couple games that people are like, oh, you should play this. I'm like, oh, I don't wanna.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
you've noped out of a couple of
mine.
mine. A couple of single player horror runs I've went out. Like I've seen, oh, there's Prom. Nope. There went Prom. Prom's gone.
I'm here in
Wait.
spirit.
Why did Prom just give you an emote for a middle finger?
Yeah. Like, hey,
And
nope,
then
gone.
oh, it's waving.
It's like, okay, bye. It's like, I love you, but I can't be here. Like for example, when you were playing Visage, I've actually seen Visage played multiple times because Nixus has played through it 3 times now that I've watched.
I think this
her.
one I was thinking of, yeah.
And there are still parts in that game that get me really good. I'm like, I know this is coming. I know this is coming, and it still gets me.
Yeah, I didn't know it was coming, and almost broke my chair several times. Microphone, mouse, hip, everything. Like,
I mean, I'm the same with horror movies too. It's like, tell me what's gonna happen, so that I can like mentally prepare myself. I'm probably still gonna be scared, but at least like prepare me, please. Like spoilers for horror movies don't bother me because I'm like, at least I know what's coming.
I like a good scare. It may be hard to believe, as many times I've almost flipped over on stream and like launched out of my chair, but
I've
like a good one.
made it an incentive for like 2 different charity events. And like my 2-year stream anniversary, I made it one of the incentives. It's like, if we get to like this many subs, I will play a horror game on stream.
I'm making a note of that.
I'm probably going to do it for the
I was like, yep.
I'm probably going to do it again for like the next charity event that I'm doing. I just, it's like people want to see me do it, but I'm going to make them work for it.
There you go.
Because I'm just like, I'm not just going to do this to myself. It's like,
She's not us.
No.
Willingly does it to ourselves. Yeah.
It's like, I can understand the appeal to it. And like with Nyx, she does a lot of like her indie horror games, and there are a lot of really good clips of Nyx's, and she's amazing, hilarious. And another one is Parleron. She does a lot of cosplay on stream. She's got her Shibas, who are a big part of it, and she puts a lot of work in her stream, and she's adorable, absolutely adorable, and also like a very feel good kind of energy, despite the fact that sometimes she's playing things like Five Nights at Freddy's, and it's like the feel good energy and the great kind of energy. And like, I mean, there's a number of female streamers in the AUC too that if I happen to catch them when they're on, I go and I'll hang out in the background and I'll lurk, and I'm everywhere a lot of the time. Like I'll have 5+ tabs open and I'll just be like going between them. And if like somebody's made a comment about something, I'll just like pop in, type something, and then just be like, okay.
Slash ban, slash.
But we can attest to this though.
She's always watching. She's like Santa Claus, really. Like she's always there, always watching.
Prommie Claus.
Prommie Claus.
Prommie Claus. Except, yeah, Claus.
With a W. So, do you have a favorite female video game character? Like one that just
pops?
No.
Not at
You
all.
have several?
I've never
a lot of story-driven stuff. So.
I do, but a lot of them, it's like I have customization options, so I can like pick to be a female character. And the only time I ever play male characters normally is if it's gender locked. And a lot of like story driven games, it's like I love story in a video game. And a lot of the like Final Fantasy 14, for example, has an amazing story. Like it's the reason why I keep going back, because it's just like I want to re-experience this all over again. Because you can do everything on one character in Final Fantasy, but I have like 6 characters because there are specific story arcs, because each different class has their own story. So there are specific story arcs that I want to go replay because I really enjoyed like the progression of the characters in that story itself.
Right.
Because Square Enix is really good with their stories. Sometimes
yeah.
it's very convoluted, but they're really, really good at
They always have
like
been.
getting people involved in the story. And there have been parts in the story where like I've legitimately sat and bawled for like 15 minutes because I'm like, how could you do that to this character? Like the ending cutscene of the base game, when you go to start the quest for like the ending section of the game, they tell you in a pop-up that says this cutscene could be up to 45 minutes of cutscene. So make sure you have enough time set aside to sit here and watch it. And I cried through most of that because it was just like characters that you've gotten super invested in, or characters that, you know, like you were rooting for. It's like, oh my God, like my heart, what are you doing?
I was like that with 10, like the ending of 10. And I've been wanting to replay and try to, actually, I wanted to stream a playthrough of 10. And I can't, it runs like crap on my, like, I can't get it to run right. And
Which one was 10?
10 was
that
the
the-
one with Sin. Sin was the
Oh,
big
that
bad.
right.
Yeah.
And then it was the one with the was it Vivi,
I think it's been
the
I
Dark
was like
Mage?
a junior or sophomore in college when I played it on PS2. So it's been a while.
You're old.
Yeah. But I would like, that was one of the first long RPGs like that I played that, and like all the characters, like you were talking about, you know, you lose your character, then you have the betrayal, and
Yeah. It's
I really
just
would
like
to play that again.
heart-wrenching.
I was like that with Mass Effect.
Oh, Mass Effect is actually one that I played. Actually, it was the first game that I started and finished on a console.
Really?
Yeah, the
Oh,
entire series. I played it at university.
love
My
Mass
boyfriend
Effect.
at the time had a PS3, and he played a lot of COD, but he had Mass Effect, he had Red Dead, and I did all the hunting challenges for him in Red Dead because it got to a point where like he couldn't kill a cougar with a knife. So I went and I did that for him, and then I went and killed a bear with a knife. Because I was just better at it than he was. And for like Assassin's Creed and God of War, I did all the puzzles for him because he couldn't wrap his brain around them. And I love puzzles.
He was the me go in, me smash things.
No, his brain just worked in a different way. So to give you some context of like, he was a political science and philosophy major. His thinking was on like a weird different level than mine, and the only time I could ever understand what the hell he was talking about was when I was stoned out of my goddamn mind.
It's the philosophical conversations that
and Prom was going, yeah.
No, it's just I totally understand that, and then you try to bring up the conversation when I'm sober. I'm like, bruh, I don't understand you at all. Oh, hi, Simba. Are you stepping on my light now? Hi.
God, that lion is huge.
Hey, baby.
Oh my God.
Yeah, look at that.
He's massive.
That's the size of my youngest.
That cat is the size of your child.
It is the size of my child.
Hi, baby.
Oh my God. Beautiful cat, though.
Yes, he is. And look at the fuzzy toe beans. He's just like, Mom, what are you doing?
Leave me
He's ready to bolt.
alone.
There he goes.
Yeah, there's.
It's like, no, too much love.
So would there be, like, before we get to the like the whole wrap up and everything, like, is there anything that you want to get out there that you want the people that do listen to hear, and like this is prom time now. We made it to prom time, like something
Prom time.
And it could even be just like, hey, follow me on Twitch.
Yeah, it's literally whatever you want. This is your moment.
Regardless of what you identify as, just if you're trying to making content in general anywhere on the internet, like YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, just be authentic to you. Because if you're representing yourself incorrectly and people start to get to know you as who you are, that's where a lot of people lose followers and lose friends and lose a lot of stuff in their life. It's like, just be authentic, because you're going to draw in a whole different crowd of people that actually connect with you and that you can build a community with. if you're just being unapologetically yourself. Yes, there's going to be haters. There's haters no matter what you do. It's like haters going to hate. I hate that saying, but it's like, it's so
true.
fucking accurate, because it's like, I could pretend to be like that totally done up woman all the time, every day, but I would hate myself because
That's not
it's
you.
a lot of work. It's so much work. And it's so much work to pretend to be somebody you're not. So take that energy and actually put it into like having fun doing what you're doing and being attached more to that than, you know, when you're like, oh yeah, I'm just going to do this because like this is what's popular. Don't burn yourself out trying to be somebody else. It's silly.
That's a
Basically.
that's a great way to put that, because that's not something people bring up a lot. Is, you know, just, I like how you put it. Don't misrepresent yourself.
Yeah, it's like be authentically you. And if you
Be-
don't like who you are, work on it. Because I don't think anybody's really ever truly happy with who they are, to be honest. And
Mm-mm.
that's kind of part of being a human. It's like there are always going to be parts of yourself that you don't like struggling with anxiety, with depression, struggling with PTSD. It's like it doesn't have to define you. It's like this is part of like the reason why I react to things the way I do. But it's not me. It's just that's the way my brain works. So
and it's something you should never have to apologize for either. It's
no, and I don't. At least not anymore. I used to.
well, and that's why we love you, Prom. It's you're very genuine. You are. I'm just gonna say this because there's no better way to put it. You are you're sharp like a knife. You're smart, but you're also piercing sometimes in your interactions. What I've seen, like, and I mean that in the best way possible. Like, I was in Body's channel one time, and this guy came and just started self-promoting. I'm pretty sure it was a younger kid. And then all of a sudden, like, no one caught it because Body's chat just do.
Yep.
Prom caught it like that, and it's like, hey, it was basically a nice way of saying, hey, dickhead, quit self-promoting or else you're gone. That's not cool. That's not the way you do it.
Yeah.
I think you know the story I'm talking about.
Yeah, where I deleted his message twice.
Yep.
And then basically told him just stop.
Yep.
Because if you don't, you're banned.
Yep.
It's like respect the space, damn it.
That's what it is. Like
Nobody
I said,
cares.
Sharp like a knife. You told him that too. Read the room. And I love that. I just remember I was crying. I was laughing so hard because I can see you just behind your keyboard, just your face just kind of scrunching up going, yeah, like that.
The fuck is your problem?
So it like I said, I mean that in the best way possible. I think that's one of the really endearing things about watching you on your stream is that you're just very honest with everyone, and you're who you are.
Mhm.
And that's just so refreshing.
I'm a slightly
because you don't
less
see that
shy
all the
version
time.
of myself, because in person I'm way more shy. It's like unless I am actually comfortable around you,
Right.
and it really depends on the crowds I'm in, the friends I'm hanging out with. Like I could be super, super quiet, sitting off in the corner doing my own thing. Like just don't mind me, minding my own business. Or sometimes I'm the person who doesn't shut up. Really depends on who I'm with, because like I'm more outgoing. I saw something, I think it might have been on Twitter, but it's like I always thought I was an introvert, but it's like I'm not. I'm a select extrovert, because it's like I'm extroverted around people who bring me peace.
Right.
And if I'm comfortable with you and I'm chatting all the time, chances are it's like, yeah, I'm comfortable. I don't feel like I have to censor anything.
Kyle, I think she's saying she's comfortable around us on our games because it's like, no, Guyver,
no
you're
filter.
dead. Oh,
No filter. Yeah. I mean, I appreciate you being here, and
we do.
this is something we've wanted to do for a while, and And, you know, we've been friends for a while, like long time. We've had some good talks, like a lot of really good talks. Like I've had, like me just personally, I've had shit go sideways, like Prom. And she's always a good ear to listen to, even if she doesn't want to hear it. She hears it and she gives good advice back. And so
And if
just,
I don't have like any advice, I'll just
Yeah.
be very honest about it. It's like, I don't know what to
she's
say.
like, I got shit all for this. I got nothing. I'm like, okay, cool. Go over this. But just really appreciate it. I think this is a really cool series that Chris had the idea to do, and I'm really glad we're doing it. Because
I'm very honored to be one of the first.
you are the
No,
first.
you're not one of the first. You are the first.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We love that you're the first.
Yep. It's going to be really cool, and I'm excited to see the different perspectives we get as we go through and
I am
bring others
too.
on. I'm really thinking that we're going to get some like outliers, some things a little bit different here or there, but I got a feeling like the general message is going to be really tight and close.
Mhm.
But I'm curious to see the different ways that everybody gets to that.
Yep.
And so I'm excited to get more of you ladies on for this, and I know Chris is as well. And just like really wanted to thank you for this. And if you guys are listening, check out Prom on Twitch. Do it. Links are going to be down there for it.
It is going to be
Show some love below us.
Hello.
so. But yeah, Prom, thank you so much for being here. It has been a genuine pleasure and honor having you on, talking
an
about
honor
this
to
kind
be
of
here.
stuff. So, and now you can listen to yourself when you're listening to the podcast.
I hate listening to myself, but I'll do it.
And you can just start screaming every time you talk, and then just listen to the sweet, sweet tones of Kyle. Well, Kyle, is there anything else you want to go over?
I think we hit it all really well.
I think we did too. So with that, this has been Every Man's Guide to Nerddom. I'm Chris.
I'm
show
Kyle.
your shirt. Show
Oh
your
yeah,
shirt.
show
Prom.
the shirt.
It says, Kyle, read it out.
You make me read. Okay. I know I play like a girl. Try to keep up.
I love that
It's
shirt.
sexy, sexy old school Sylvanas.
Oh, it
like
is, isn't it?
This is old school Sylvie.
Before the
Nice.
remake, before the
they,
redesign,
Covered her up.
just like Kyle.
Keep the cover up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for being on here, and
Thank you
and
so much.
everybody out there that's listening. And just have a great evening, morning, night, whatever time it is, wherever you are, and please be good to each other.
See ya.
See ya.
Nerdcore could rise up. It could get elevated. Nerdcore could rise up. It could get elevated.